What is happening, everybody? How are you doing? This is Rob of Rule of Two Review. Welcome back to the channel, and it is that time of year again. The Game Awards are happening just next month on December 12th, and today, this morning, on November 18th, Geoff Keighley and the Game Awards organization finally decided to put out all of the nominations for all of the games we can see them discuss and give awards to next month. It's pretty interesting. I've got a list of the categories that I'm personally interested in and that I think are the more important categories, and I wanted to talk about them. So really quickly before we get into the nominations themselves, let's talk about the Game Awards itself and the weird, crazy journey that we've all kind of witnessed the Game Awards go through, right? Kind of over the last, 6, 7, 8 years, whenever that first one was. It's been a hell of an arc, if you want to call it an arc, for the Game Awards and for everything Geoff Keighley has been doing. And, every year I kind of remind you guys when we start to go over this stuff. Personally, I kind of like the Game Awards. It's a huge guilty pleasure for me. But I appreciate what it's trying to do. I definitely appreciate the work and dedication Geoff Keighley puts into it. I feel like it's hard not to appreciate that, even if you think the show is the dumbest thing and it's too commercial and people aren't taking the awards themselves seriously. Like, I get those criticisms, and I think that some of them are definitely very true, for sure, and the show has had plenty of terrible years. Way more bad years than even decent years. But when you look at just what Geoff Keighley is doing, I mean, come on, man. The guy is trying really hard. He clearly cares about it. He's trying to put on something that brings everyone together to just celebrate the hobby and the art and the entertainment of gaming. Trying to help it be something that is taken a little bit more seriously by, like, the world at large. And even if the Game Awards aren't the best way to do it, at least he's trying. And he cares because he really just loves the hobby and loves the industry. And I can't help but think that that's pretty great. And also, it should be noted that really the show has only gotten better and better every year. Yes, it's taking very small steps every time, but it is improving, at least in my opinion. I think it's getting better every year. And, even on the years where I've been, like, really just kind of cynical on the idea and really down on the Game Awards, once it comes time for, like, the day of the show, I can't lie, I get pretty excited when I get to sit down and hunker down and think, oh man, here we go. Let's watch this next 2 or 3 hours of all this video game stuff, and we get the new trailers, which is exciting, but just to see a couple of hours of a show dedicated to gaming, it's exciting. I think we all get a little bit excited, even if we think the Game Awards are dumb. So, as far as this year's show, as far as the nominations and everything that they just, gave out, the games that I think were the ones that are really stand out, that happens every year. You get a couple of games that you hear their name over and over again throughout the show. The ones that I heard over and over again today as the nominations went out were Resident Evil 2, Death Stranding, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and Control, surprisingly. That was like the dark horse game. I feel like those games I just heard in almost every category, except for like some of the more obscure ones. So those seem like the big games this year. Unfortunately, none of those 4 are Nintendo games, although Smash Bros. Ultimate got quite a few mentions as well, so that was really great. People were wondering if that game was even going to be considered this year, and it definitely was, so I think that that's great, a very, very smart move. You can't ignore Smash just based on when it released last year. That wouldn't have been okay, so they did the right thing there. I do have to say that, last point before I get into the nominations, I think that there are too many categories. I mean, I think that they're trying too hard to cast too wide of a net over the industry. You get stuff like best VR and AR game and best, like, ongoing game, best mobile game. It's like, come on, like, I appreciate the idea, but I think it's just a little too much, stuff that's that obscure. Best game developed by a 9-finger developer. It's like, come on, stop that stuff, man. We just want actual categories that actually matter. No offense to the people nominated here. I get that everyone works hard. I just feel like VR is too much of a stretch, and mobile, give them their own thing. I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. Anyway, with that stuff aside, let's go over some of the nominations for the categories I found interesting and the ones that I'm invested in. I'll try to go very fast. And some of them, they tweeted them out, so I screen grabbed the tweets, and then some of them they didn't even tweet out, which is annoying, so I've got little video clips for them, and so we'll start with the video clip ones and just kind of go from there. So, the first one that I'll go over here is Best Action Game. They've nominated Apex Legends, Astral Chain, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Devil May Cry 5, Gears of War 5, and Metro Exodus. I like that category because I've played all of those games. Well, I played Apex for like a minute. I could really care less about Apex. Man, I don't know. Astral Chain and Gears and Metro really stand out to me there. So I feel like I would want it to be one of those three. But I really like Call of Duty and Devil May Cry 5 as well. So great category. I don't know. Give it to Astral Chain probably. But I really like Metro Exodus too. It's kind of a sleeper hit for me this year. We then have action-adventure game, and that has Borderlands 3, Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Zelda Link's Awakening, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I played the last four there, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Zelda, Sekiro, and of those, I mean, Resident Evil 2 is probably my personal favorite there, but I would love if Death Stranding or Sekiro got it. I liked Zelda, but it didn't really blow me away. I discussed it on Twitter, so it got a couple nominations, which is great, but I prefer all three of those other games over Zelda, believe it or not. I never thought I would say that, so I don't know. I think I have to go Resident Evil 2 on this one. Next is Best RPG. I can't believe they didn't tweet out Best RPG, at least as of right now. And there's only one reason I'm even including it here, but the nominations are Disco Elysium, Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy 14, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, and The Outer Worlds. So I've only played Monster Hunter World Iceborne and The Outer Worlds. Both are amazing, but to me, Monster Hunter World Iceborne is a clear standout for one of the best games of the entire generation. Monster Hunter World is amazing. Iceborne is even better. I freaking adore it. I'm a fanboy, so I'm biased, but I don't care because this is my video. So of those, I would absolutely give it to Iceborne. What's shocking and disappointing to me is that Fire Emblem Three Houses wasn't included here. I mean, it is a strategy game, sure, and there is a strategy category we'll get to. But, I mean, aren't strategy games like also RPGs? I mean, you have games that cross over into like action adventure, and multiplayer, like in all three of those categories. Why couldn't some games be in both strategy and an RPG? I don't understand that. So I think Fire Emblem should have been included here, but it's not. So I would personally give it to Monster Hunter World Iceborne. Next, we have Best Family Game, which is funny because they're all Nintendo games. We have Luigi's Mansion 3, Ring Fit Adventure, Mario Maker 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and Yoshi's Crafted World. So for me, I've played Luigi's Mansion, Smash, and Yoshi. They're all very good. Luigi's Mansion and Smash are amazing. This one's hard for me because Smash is really the best of these for sure. And I'm not a Mario Maker fan, so maybe, you guys might yell at me for that. I don't care. Smash is the best made game here for sure, and probably deserves it the most. But I have a major soft spot for Luigi's Mansion 3. So I don't even know what I would prefer here. This is like my two favorite Nintendo children I'm picking between. I have no idea. Either one is good for me. Mario Maker might actually squeeze out being the winner here because people love those games and the Game Awards loves that game. They gave the first one a nomination the year it came out in 2015. So Mario Maker might win. Mario Maker or Smash are probably going to win. Well, because they're going family games, so they might make a decision for Luigi's Mansion or Yoshi based on the family category. So I don't know what will win. I just want it to be Smash or Luigi's Mansion for sure. Here we have Best Strategy, which I was just talking about. We have Age of Wonders, we have Anno 1800, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Total War 3 Kingdoms, Tropico 6, and Wargroove. So the only one I care about and have played is Fire Emblem. The answer is Fire Emblem. It's the answer to everything. The game is fantastic. It's a 12 out of 10. It's freaking amazing. It should be in every category. It's that good to me. And so, obviously, my answer personally is Fire Emblem. And then the last video clip category I have is Best Multiplayer. And those nominations are Apex Legends, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Tetris 99, and Division 2. I feel Tetris 99 is a pretty big kind of surprise, personally. But the only one I have any dedication to here is Call of Duty. And it's amazing. Modern Warfare, this year's Call of Duty, is great. So it would probably be my winner no matter what. But I don't play any of these other games. I have no attachment to them. I think Tetris 99 is a Switch exclusive. Am I wrong on that? I don't know. I haven't played it. Not interested. But I thought Modern Warfare was great. So that's what I want to win. Okay, so moving on to the next categories that I have screen caps of from Twitter. Let's get to some of these. These are kind of some of the more, kind of like the bigger categories here, I would say. Interesting stuff. So, First one we have is Best Art Direction, which nominees are Control, Death Stranding, Grease, Sayonara Wild Hearts, which I'd never heard of, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and Zelda Link's Awakening again. So, Death Stranding, Sekiro, and Zelda are the only ones I've played here. I think as far as art direction goes, any one of them is worth winning. I don't know which one I would prefer. Zelda is the one with the most unique style, and it is a beautiful game with a great style, so maybe that makes the most sense here for sure, and I would not be sad about it. But Sekiro and Death Stranding have incredible art direction too. Those are great, beautiful games. Even though, yes, Death Stranding is going for kind of a gray, desolate wasteland look, that's what it's going for, so it's succeeded in that admirably. And I also have really fallen in love with Death Stranding once I pushed through the beginning, so I don't know. Any one of those three is good to me. What's going to win? Probably Death Stranding or Zelda, or, I don't know, Control might be a dark horse too. I don't know what's going to win, so that'll be interesting. Next category is Best Narrative. That is A Plague Tale: Innocence, Control, Death Stranding, Disco Elysium, and The Outer Worlds. I've only played The Outer Worlds. I like that game. I don't think the narrative is that great, but it's a really great game for sure. I would like to see Death Stranding win, but I feel like I don't even know how to predict. I don't really know anything about Disco Elysium or Plague Tale, so maybe Control has another dark horse shot here, but Death Stranding obviously has a very good chance at winning and probably should. The story's really incredible for that game. So I wanted to bring up, best content creator. You can see the list of names here. I have zero interest in this category. The only reason I brought it up is, I just think it's funny that on the Game Awards, content creator to them is basically the same as best streamer of the year, as far as I'm concerned, because I've never even heard of these guys, except for, I think, Shroud is a pretty big guy. He just did a Mixer thing. And so, cool. They're all streamers. That's fine. I'm not into streaming content or streamers at all. It's not something I'm interested in. I have nothing against it. I just feel that making content creator streamers means you should just call this streamer of the year. Content creator to me is somebody who creates content, somebody who is basically pre-planning and editing content and putting it out there as a completed product that they just have created and put it out there and it's done, and they've put a different kind of effort into it. Not more effort, but a different kind. And streamers is a different kind of entertainment that I think should just be its own thing, because I feel like streaming content is different than creating content. It's just my personal opinion. It's splitting hairs. I don't really care about the categories either way. I just wanted to talk to you guys about it. So anyway, that's that. That's content creator of the year. Not my thing. Best fighting game, obviously an interesting category. Dead or Alive 6, Jump Force, okay. Mortal Kombat 11, Samurai Showdown, and Smash Bros. Ultimate. I thought that the industry had agreed Jump Force wasn't a good game. I haven't played it, but I'm pretty sure the game was considered not good, so that's why I'm surprised to see it here. But hey, who knows? Maybe it's amazing. Mortal Kombat 11 and Smash Brothers I've played. They're both fantastic, but there's no question it's Smash. This should have just been Smash 5 times. I mean, I love Mortal Kombat 11. It is a great game. Smash destroys it. Smash all the way. That's the answer to me. Best game direction. We have Control, Death Stranding, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro, and The Outer Wilds, which is some other weird indie game, not Outer Worlds. This game I could see going either way. I mean, I feel Death Stranding has the best shot at winning this category at the Game Awards specifically, but I personally would pick Resident Evil 2 here, just because it's a great blend of gameplay and story and direction and game direction. It's an incredible game, a wonderful experience. It's pretty much neck and neck with my favorite game of the year right now, with a different game. And so, yeah, I mean, I would be very happy if Death Stranding or Sekiro won, absolutely. And again, Control is a dark horse here. It has so many nominations. It could win who knows what amount of awards. But I feel Death Stranding will win. I want Resident Evil 2 to win. The next category we'll go over is for Best Score in Music, which I always like these categories. They don't get enough attention, but as a musician, I have to care, right? So the nominees here were Cadence of Hyrule, Death Stranding, Devil May Cry 5, Kingdom Hearts 3, Sayonara Wild Hearts. So, I've only played Death Stranding and Devil May Cry 5 here. I think they both have excellent score and music. Those are kind of different things. They're both great. I would probably go Death Stranding. I really like how Death Stranding mixes kind of an ambient sort of score with kind of electronic music design, how it flourishes in and out based on what you're doing, the way a Skyrim or a Breath of the Wild does. Also, it has this really cool kind of like soft indie rock, like emotional kind of music that I would never normally listen to in my real life at all. But the way it's put into this game is really well done, because it makes it feel, it gives it that real cool cinematic presentation. It happens during gameplay, by the way, too. And I really like it, and I think that the tone of the music choice in Death Stranding really fits that game, and I think that's why I like it, because I would hate it if I was just like listening to it on my own. It is not my genre, but it's perfect in this game. Devil May Cry 5, not Devil May Fry, has a great rock soundtrack, and I'm a rock guy. So it's good. It's good. Cadence of Hyrule, I know, was some weird music-based Zelda thing that was not interesting to me. I thought it was going to be, but it is not. Kingdom Hearts 3 probably has the best shot at winning this, I would think. I don't know anything about Sayonara Wild Hearts, so that's what I have to say about those ones. And then, honestly, I think we can move on to the last category here. Game of the Year. The big one. The Big Daddy. Game of the Year. And none of these are really shockers, because we've heard these games mentioned a trillion times today. So, the nominees are Control, Death Stranding, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Resident Evil 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and The Outer Worlds is a shocker to see included there, but I'm glad to see it because it is a great game. I don't know if it's like Game of the Year nominee good, but it is awesome, so I like seeing awesome games get talked about. So those are the 6 nominees. I mean, for me, I've played all of them except for Control, and I want to play Control, but I just have not gotten to it. So I've played them all. These are all great games. Best games here, I mean, again, I have a big soft spot for Death Stranding. I think Sekiro is amazing because I'm a huge Soulsborne From Software guy, and they did a great job with that game. But I don't think it matches the quality of Dark Souls or Bloodborne, personally. Outer Worlds, to me, is great, but not Game of the Year worthy, so it comes down to Smash Brothers and Resident Evil 2. And all year, when I've been thinking about my favorite games of the year, I have not been including Smash Brothers, because I included it for my 2018. So, in general, it would be Resident Evil 2, but this kind of X factor here of allowing Smash Brothers to be a nominee changes things. I think Smash Brothers is probably the better made of those two, because there's just so much content. It's so beautiful. The 60 frames per second. It's just incredible. Smash Brothers is a monumental feat with every release. Resident Evil 2, though, speaks to me in a different way. And I love the Resident Evil franchise. I loved the original Resident Evil 2. I think the remake was just unbelievably good. So unbelievably good. So I can't pick. I don't think I can pick, you guys. Like I said, all year I've been thinking about Resident Evil 2 as its own game, and I haven't been considering Smash, because I was like, it's a 2018 game. But in the Game of the Year awards, it counts, and so I don't know what to pick here. I really freaking Death Stranding, I can't tell you guys how much that game has grown on me as I've played it. So what's going to win? I feel like what's going to win is either Resident Evil, Death Stranding, or Control. And I think Control would be the shocker if they wanted to go with a surprise again. I think it's a dark horse throughout all of its categories. I don't see them giving it to Smash. I don't see them giving it to Sekiro or to The Outer Worlds. So I think Resident Evil, Death Stranding, or Control is going to win. And if I had to really pick, I know everyone wants to say Death Stranding because of Kojima and Geoff Keighley, but I don't think that's the case. I think Resident Evil 2 is probably going to win here. And personally, I would be very happy with that. But whatever happens, here's the thing. No matter what game wins, everyone's going to be pissed off. No one's going to be happy. It's all going to be set up. Somebody's getting paid. Everyone's going to cry conspiracy. And it's going to be just a bunch of dumbness. So I don't really care, actually. So any one of these good games wins, I'm happy with it. But if I had to place money in Vegas, I'm placing my money on Resident Evil 2. All right, that's it. That's my discussion on the Game of the Year, or the Video Game Awards nominees for this year, including Game of the Year at the end there. So yeah, interesting seeing the games that got the big nominations. Control was a surprise. There's a lot of love for Control. Glad to see Sekiro and Death Stranding get a lot of shout outs. And we all kind of anticipated Resident Evil 2 would be leading the charge on that front, and it pretty much was. So who's gonna win what, who even knows, but I gave you my opinions and thoughts on the categories I cared about based on the games I played. I haven't played every game in the world. I'm just one guy, and I do YouTube not part-time anyway, so I'm obviously not playing games just for my living, just for YouTube. I play games that I want to play for me, and that gives me stuff to talk about, but I'm not like other full-time YouTubers where I play games just to play them. That's not me. I play the ones I want to play for me. So I haven't played everything, so, you know, obviously I can't give my input on every game in every category, but this is how I feel. What do you guys think? Are you excited for the Game Awards? What do you think of the nominees? What do you think is going to win Game of the Year and other categories and all that stuff? Tell me what you think below. And with that, this video is a wrap. Thanks, of course, as always, for tuning in, guys. This is Rob of GotY Review, and I'll catch you next time on another video.